Guys, I think this movie single-handedly solved racism. Or at least that's what Hollywood thought when they nominated this film for 3 Oscars. More on that later in this episode of Mastershot, where we analyse the hot mess that is Green Book. Temporarily out of work for 2 months in 1962, New York bouncer Tony Vallelonga, also known as Tony Lip, is looking for something to pay the bills. Luckily for him, a black pianist by the name of Dr. Don Shirley is hiring, and he needs somebody to drive him around the Deep South while he performs. Throughout the journey, Tony and Don start to get along, and the more they tour, the more they open up parts of their life to each other. Over time, Tony learns how truly racist America is, and Don finally finds a close friend in which he can confide in. Green Book is based on a true story, and for the most part, the plot doesn't feel like it deviated too much from it. Tony Lip as a movie character is cliché, yes, but at the same time likeable. His funny American-Italian accent had me cracking up, and his mannerisms provided great contrast with those of the careful, tidy Dr. Don Shirley. What I did find weird was how the film couldn't decide whether to paint Tony as a good guy or a bad guy. One minute he's throwing away cups because black men are drinking from them, the next he's sticking up for his black employer like they're best buddies. A lot of things he does would be considered dick moves in real life, but at the same time, this movie almost paints him as the logical, sane, practical man of the group. I get that he was shown to have changed throughout the story, yes, but from the very start he always had a knack of conveniently saying the right things and doing the right stuff. If there's a male equivalent of a Mary Sue, I think Tony Lip deserves the title. Don Shirley, on the other hand, is shown to be an arsehole, despite being the objectively nicer person. But all we remember is that he drinks too much and he constantly needs saving by the heroic white saviour. In the end, it comes off less like he's had a tough life, and more that Tony is the good guy for sticking out for this man. This doesn't send the best message to viewers because having a white person save the day every time, in a film that's supposed to make you think about your prejudices, is contradictory to say the least. In fact, there was one scene that was supposed to tie everything together, and all it seemed to say was, hey, not all white people are bad. If this story was written properly, it would have taken a closer look at Shirley's struggles, made Tony more as an intentionally flawed person, and really make the viewers think about what they've watched. Instead, they give us a happy ending where they take a black guy into their family and act like they saved him from himself. Remember when America was racist? Ah, good times. Now come have Christmas dinner with us. Luckily, that's only the plot, so it's not like it matters too much anyway. Moving from one rhyme to another, let's talk about the cinematography. It was pleasant. The set designer did very well with giving us an accurate environment that felt purposeful. Everything was visually cohesive, but that's as far as it goes. The director didn't try to do anything special here at all, and some of these clips have the most textbook shots I've ever seen. All in all, it adds up to a clean and sanitary looking movie. This isn't a bad thing if you're trying to enjoy a heartfelt movie, but in terms of this channel, it's not going to get a pass just because it's consistent. Now, I know I've said a lot of bad things about this movie, but that's only because I'm looking at it from a reviewer's eye. But watching this thing, it isn't nearly as bad as I make it out to be. The story is easily digestible and it made for a fun watch with friends, but when thinking about some of the subconscious ideas this film sends off, it's kind of worrying that it's so easily watchable, because all the wrong people are subtly getting all the wrong messages. Believe it or not, this film was directed by a white man. Peter Farrelly, a director with a history of making mediocre comedies, was the guy behind the direction of Green Book. He and 2 other white men wrote the script, and honestly, I think that's where it all went wrong. This team could have really benefited from a member with authentic black experiences. It seems like they had a lot of passion for this film. They worked with the real family members of the characters, and from what I've heard, it sounds like everyone involved had a blast putting this thing together. Family members from both the Vallelonga and Shirley family reacted very well to both Viggo Mortensen and Mahershala Ali's performances. They felt their acting was genuine, and their portrayal of their relatives was handled nicely. All the elements of a great touching film are right here, but what we got is only a glimmer of what could have been. With all that in mind, it's an absolute wonder how this film managed to win 3 Oscars. Granted, the award for Best Performance from a Supporting Actor was well deserved, but Best Motion Picture of the Year award? Best Original Screenplay? Come on, Hollywood. I know you're stupid, but seriously, this is too far. I get that the Oscars might have been trying to seem less racist by giving the awards to Green Book, but Black Klansman and Black Panther came out in the same year, and I'm sure those are more deserving of the title. Anyways, the Oscars are a joke and Hollywood is full of idiots. What's new? I hope all my negative thoughts about this film haven't turned you off watching it, because it's genuinely an enjoyable watch. The set design isn't terrible and the performances were good. Unfortunately, it's those little details that Green Book doesn't quite nail, which puts this film down a bit. I give this movie 3 stars out of 5. There are a lot of fiddly social problems behind the scenes that do bring the rating down, but in the end, if you take the story with a grain of salt, it's not a bad film by any means. Of course, as usual, these are only my thoughts and experiences, and I'm sure you have yours too, so please leave a comment and I'll see you in the next one.